It's a rainy day. Not many beekeepers are able to open a hive 365 days a year. I have been busy the last few days prepping and moving hives one place to another. Because robbing is such an issue, because of my large colonies and my small colonies together when I breed queens, at end of summer, August, I started to move my small colonies to a different apiary, and I moved my large colonies from that apiary back home. This right here is the last of the smaller colonies, and I'm keeping an eye on them, and maybe I won't have to move them because I'm hoping these are going to stay here all summer, and that way I won't have to move them, put them back here before. This is where they're going to go during winter. I'm going to stack my small colonies here. But anyway, during the winter I do hive inspections inside, and during the summer I time my work that I have to do with these colonies underneath the roof for rainy days, and today happens to be a rainy day, and smoke is required because in days like this all the bees are in the hive and they don't want you opening the hive because it's not a good day to be out. But anyway, here's another tip. I use all the scraps of wood from building frames and hives I use in my smoker, and get a lot of creosote build up, and it builds up on the ring here, so then it gets hard to get this on. So what I had to do was I took tin snips, I cut in 4 places so that it could overlap, and I took pliers and I bent it in a little bit, so now I don't have to fight with scraping that every time I want to use it, because I got all these buckets of scrap wood that I'm going to use in my smoker. I'm not buying anything for my smoker. I use all that wood, and it works pretty good. Once you get fire going in there, every 15 minutes or so, add some more. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm showing you that I'm opening a hive on a rainy day. It's not raining right now, but there are clouds over there, so I don't have to worry about getting something done on time. And I've moved these hives a little bit underneath the roof the last few weeks because I got dogs now, and I want to keep the dogs here because a little dog I bought last week is black and he gets stung a lot. So let me pause this and I'm going to open this hive up. Usually what happens when you start sliding hives left or right, and I did it a little bit at a time, 2 feet at a time, but you still end up with more bees at the end of the row. And then the ones that lost the bees, I took and I moved them to a different apiary, because I did have a colony. My last colony, it created a queen just a few days ago. Robbing had become an issue and they were being robbed out, and what I did was I took the whole hive, I put a screen on it, plugged up the holes, I took the whole thing to the different apiary, robbers and all. After I made sure the queen was in there, first I opened the hive, made sure the queen was in there, I grabbed that queen, stuck her in a container, and I took her along with that hive to a different apiary, opened that hive up, put that queen on the frame with the brood where she should be, and put a cage over here. And then the next day I took the cage off and she was fine. So she was being attacked at the time when I saw her in the hive. She wasn't on the brood, she was somewhere in the hive, I can't remember where, but she was being attacked by the robbers. So there really is no dearth going on. Robbing is an issue when you have too many large colonies, and I'm not feeding syrup. They just go ahead. Easy honey, they take easy honey. It doesn't have anything to do with dearth or feeding syrup. It just happens this time of year. End of July, early August is when it starts. So let me pause this again. What I'm doing is I have all these frames, and I know these colonies aren't going to be large enough to finish this deep, but they can go ahead, start building on these frames, keep them busy building comb on frames, so that I know end of fall, early winter, I'm going to remove that deep, but at least they have built on these frames and taken use of doing that. Okay, so I'm going to pause again. Okay, I got that one done. And if it was raining at the time, bees do fly in the rain. They don't go out and forage, but they do cleansing flights and sometimes come out of the hive when it's raining. I've seen them fly around raindrops. It's amazing what they can do. So if it was raining right now, these bees right here would still be able to get back in the hive, and I can continue doing that. I had mentioned before there's a few things. I had some time to go on a computer this morning. I normally don't have time for that. This is about, I had mentioned before that hybrids were better than line bred. You know, like a Russian queen. Those that I got from Russian or foliage Russian bees were no good, poor quality. But I had some other honeybees. Then the following year, I bred some new queens, and they were better quality than the Russian queens that I got from foliage Russian bees. And this article talks about how hybrids are better than line breds. But they also say that after a hybrid is no good. But you got to keep in mind, they want you to buy from queen breeders. They want you to buy hybrids. If you look in catalogs or go online, you'll see a lot of hybrids being sold. And they want you to buy new ones every year. This right here comes from Bee Source Beekeeping Forums. And there's a lot of information there. I only printed a little bit of it. And I won't go through all of it. But take the time to read that. And I admit I don't understand all that stuff that's on this article. But what I do know is I have commercial beekeepers that bring bees back to my area every summer, and I'm sure they're bringing in different colonies from what was there the previous year. And I'm breeding my virgin queens with his drones, so I don't have to worry about my bees getting inbred. And I don't graft from my best queens. I try to get new queens from every colony I have. I don't know why the bee industry wants you to graft from your best queens. You guys don't make any sense. You know, and they don't want you to know that you can make top quality queens on your own. So anyway, read that article. It's online. Bee Source Bee Forums or Beekeeping Forums. It's called Breeding Improves Honeybees. Or it's, wait a minute, breeding methods, something like that. And then the other thing I want to mention, how long will honeybees live during the winter? I went online, looked for that information too. It's 5-6 months. It depends on which article you look at. Winter workers can live up to 6 months. And this right here, that was how long do bees live? Carolina honeybees. And this right here is from How Long Do Honeybees Live? World Atlas. 5 months for the rest of the year. And then I keep telling you guys, you know, the chemicals the crop farmers use. And if you happen to have honeybees, well, there's a lot of crop farming going on. It's hard on your honeybees. And here's an article from Agricultural Chemicals Harm Honeybees' Health. Or that's the title of it. By Haley Willard. This is July 25th, 2013. And it talks about the studies found chemicals used in farming can impair bees' health. Fungicides, insecticides, herbicides, miticides. So there's a lot of people on YouTube that don't want to talk about it. You know, it's not the varroa mites. It's mostly the chemicals. Let me pause again. Well, I've got more things to say, and I'll just go ahead and make another video. So I'm going to go ahead and end this, and I'm going to make another video, and then I'm going to finish adding all these deeps to these hives here. Because these bees probably could be spending time building on frames rather than just hanging out on the side of the hive. Okay, so I'll do another video.